What's up, YouTube? It's FitzBro, and we just received the patch notes for the spring update, the official rank seasons launch that's coming to you tomorrow. And since I have done a complete review of the patch notes, I figured it's time to, of course, do a brand new tier list. Now, I expect to put out another tier list here after I've had some opportunities to play this for a few weeks. The meta evolves because we can't really know exactly how this is going to we can't like truly guess how strong these civs are going to be just from reading the notes alone. We're going to have to get in there and get our hands dirty. But with that, if you did not check out my patch rundown, I'll leave a link down in the description, maybe a card right there. And so go watch that, check it out, and I'll put the patch notes in the description as well. And you can come hang out on the Discord, link down below. Let's start this tier list. Twitch chat, say hello if you didn't already. Zero Empires, good to see you. What we're going to do is do this in patch note order. So there's broader changes, so we can't necessarily do just look at the specific civ stuff, but it is what it is. Let's take a look. So the first civ on the agenda here is, of course, my favorite civ. We're allowed to have favorites. The Abbasid Dynasty. So lots of changes coming to this civ, and I already have a strong opinion where this civ's going to go. Let's just take a skim here to see what's going on. And I'm going to need your guys' help ranking these civs as we go. And if you're watching this on YouTube, throw comments down, whether you disagree or agree. You can boo, you can laugh, we can cry. It's a great time. Okay, so this will be for both Delhi and Abbasid. They are not having as many berries to start with. Instead of 250, I'm sorry, for the orchard bonus they get when they build their mill, they now only get a plus 100. So they're going to have effectively less safe food at home. Okay, so less food. That's a bit of a nerf. But we've got some heavy buffs for you here. These camel buffs are insane. If you've got the camel emote on Twitch, you got to throw it in there. Hold on, I got to tab out here. There's never been a more appropriate time to spam camels. Spam them early, spam them often, all over, because camels might be the new most OP unit in the game. We'll have to see. Camel Archer movement speed has been increased. Instead of doing as much bonus damage as Spearmen, it's been reduced, but they get more general damage against everything. So they are good. They're going to be all around. They're going to be speedy. They're going to get in. They're going to get out. They're going to kill your villagers and your dog, and they're going to be back at home. So Camel Archers, going to be brutal. Camel Riders have been buffed as well. Again, becoming more of a generalist unit. And on top of that, there's been changes to you can actually more practically get to the military wing sooner in the game. Typically, you wouldn't get it till the 4th age before. But from the changes to the House of Wisdom, there's so many options. So you might not just go in the same order every time. You might go economic wing into military wing. You might go straight into trade wing into military wing. But I think you're going to see that military wing coming out sooner, and maybe not as much of the culture wing in general. Just jumping ahead to look at those changes. Now the trade wing, you could get that in they flopped it. The age 4 text for this, you can now get it in the feudal age. So perhaps you could actually have viability for an age 2 trade boom, which I was doing anyways. So now I really want to try this because I was making it work without this. Now my question is this going to outweigh the half-price villagers? I'm not sure. That's still so good. I find it very hard to believe that I'm going to skip a feudal age economic wing, but I could see maybe saying, screw it, I'm going straight for a trade change, maybe on a super safe map where you can wall, or maybe in a team game. And then also the military wing. You could go for this early on and get boot camp, which is a big buff to your infantry, and have this as early as the feudal, or maybe if you do it in the castle age instead of in the 4th age. So all that changing. So in chat, I'm calling it feudal eco wing into military wing castle age timing push, gonna be OP. Yeah, let me know in the chat or in the comments, what age up order are you going to do the Abbasid Dynasty? I mean, I have to address it. I think for me, I'm still going to go for the economic wing. I still think I want fresh foodstuffs. I could see trying some crazy builds though, where I do go straight into the trade. but I still think fresh food is so good. So I think you still go to fresh economic wing, but for that age 3, instead of default into culture wing, which everybody does, I think now you either go for that military wing if you're going to push, or if you're just planning on staying back and continuing to boom, and maybe want to throw in some trading, I think you could get that trade wing earlier. But I think in general, economic wing into military wing into probably the culture trade, depending on if you're planning to trade at all. I think, but generally those first few are the most important, right? I think that's generally what I'm going to try. But all that said, lots of change to the Abbasid Dynasty. Let's go back to our tier list. That's what this video is. This is the time where you shout in chat where you think the Abbasid Dynasty should go on the tier list, S to D tier. I have some thoughts. I think it's gonna at least be in this coordinate of the tier list. Well, let's see what chat thinks. I don't want to influence you too much yet. I have an idea. 1 vote for S tier, 1 for A, 1 for S. Seeing several S. Oh, it's looked like no one below an A yet. Does anyone think they're below S or A? S plus, says Belch. A, says Neuroxine. Boy, we might have to do a poll for this. We might have to do a poll. Jab, can you create a poll for me? Make a poll. S or A tier. I think that's what the poll is going to be for the Abbasid Dynasty. I'm going to make my vote. Their time is here. Spam those camels. S tier. I think, no question. I have no doubt in my mind. They are going to be absolutely S tier. Camels are going to be riding the plains. You're going to fear these things. You're going to have nightmares about them. S tier all the way for the Abbasid Dynasty. Okay. So, with that, let's move on to our next civ. I'm pretty confident in that one. I think there's some that I'm unsure about, but that's one of the few I'm feeling very confident about. Okay, let's see what's next on our patch. The Chinese. Okay, guys, I'm going to need your help with this. I don't play a ton of Chinese personally, but you know, I've casted plenty. I understand the civ. I understand the general idea. I've always been a little bit scared of playing against Chinese. Maybe it's because I like to boom with Abbasid and they like to boom too, so they're just as good. The siege build speed nerf. That is true. That's true. Okay, so pointed out. The field building of siege takes longer now. So that directly affects Abbasid because that's one of their civ bonuses of being able to build, like, you know, the rams out of the gate and being able to build mangonels and etc. But even with that considered, I still think that just means you sit back and build it. Yeah, you still can build them under your towns and your keep just fine. So I think people are just going to behave differently with them. But I don't think you can't just like aggro plop them in the middle of the field with the one man arms and expect it to get built, I think. Okay, China. Let's check this out. Thank you for bringing in that general list. And for those of you guys who are familiar with the general patch notes, remind us of those as we go through, because I've read them, but there's a lot going on. Okay, ancient techniques cost increased. Okay, so that is a nerf in a sense. The research increase. This is definitely a nerf. There's a lot here, so we're not just going to read every line of this. The Barbican Sun line of sight change. Imperial Spies now reveals more. That's a little bit of a change. Apparently, tax is being nerfed a little bit. Doesn't say specifically what's going on there. Bugware, I guess a bug there. Chinese Dynasty changes. Okay, so the Dynasty changes are the biggest thing. So now you can get those buildings and units earlier on. You're able to get access earlier to the village, earlier access to the granary, a little bit of adjustments to the harvest speeds of those, and their HP. And then the Chinese official has been changed. It only gives a 150% production boost rather than the 200%. But the cost has been changed too. It's going to cost a little bit of gold, meaning that's going to slow down your Dark Age just a little bit. You can't just... Or you're going to at least have to mine gold. You can't just skip a mining camp altogether probably anymore. So with all of those considerations, where are we going to put China? Boy, oh boy. This is going to be a hard one for me, especially since I don't play the Civ a ton. Chat, throw it out here. Where is China go? I'm going to say I don't think they're S tier. Yeah, and deer hunting is being changed overall. Remember that for all the civs. Hunting has been changed, right? It's going to be encouraged more. And having that village is going to help, right? That could help. Placing a village next to hunting, sure. I'm seeing some Bs and seeing some Cs. Yeah, I think they're confident. I don't think they're D tier. And honestly, I don't know what civ would be necessary. We'll have to get to that, but I don't know if it's like a net positive or negative necessarily for China. I would feel like B is a safe spot to put them. Unless someone can convince me why they should move down to C. I think C is probably where China should be right now. Which is respectable. I mean, when I was maining Delhi when the game launched, they were like down here. They were down in F tier. And I still played them. And still was like top 200, top 100 for some time with them. And the same thing with Abbasid. I started playing them. They were down here. And now look where they are. B, that's a respectful spot to be. I would not be complaining too much. Because I've been down here. I've been down here maining. Let's move on. English. Doesn't seem like people are too upset about this. Okay, English. Now, I accidentally skipped the English in my patch note video. I don't know how. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, Delhi's next. So we're not to English yet. Delhi Sultanate. Okay, Delhi. Getting overall nerfs. I don't think Delhi's getting any buffs. Are there any, slight buffs? Other than the Baghla's getting buffed. So they are getting a stronger water, I guess. But their fishing boats now can't move and shoot because that's a change. They made it so aeroships can't. I don't know if a fishing boat counts as an aeroship, though. I wonder if a fishing boat can still move and shoot. I wonder. Yeah, and Tower of Victory got buffed. Okay, let's go through this real quick. Okay, less gold from Sanctity. All right. Less starting wood. Herbal medicine moved to the Castle Age. Those are all nerfs. Orchard starts with less berries, same as the Abbasid. These are just some name changes. The Tower of Victory. This is a buff. Tower of Victory going up. But I still always said I feel like it's hard to skip that Dome of Faith in any. It's still. That's the other thing. I've always said Tower of Victory, never ever in any scenario. Just because Dome of Faith is so valuable, saving that gold, getting those scholars is so important and crucial to the entire Civ. Getting them garrison in the mosque, getting them garrison in military buildings, and that discount is still so freaking hard to pass up. I'm not sure I would still use it just because of how strong the Tower of Victory is, in my opinion. The starting would change from a previous patch. Gotcha. Okay, that was okay. I was a little confused. I was like, I thought they already removed that. So that's from the previous patch. Gotcha. So that's not really a change. Okay. So where do they land? And some changes to water. The Baghla's been buffed, right? I think without a doubt, Delhi is still going to be up here. Are they S or are they A or are they B? Twitch chat, let me know. Throw it out there. What do you think Delhi is? Well, we got to poll up. Vote in the poll. Let's wait. I don't want to influence you. You have a few more seconds. Vote in the poll. We only had 3 votes in there, so that's great. 55 viewers, 3 votes. That's democracy for you. I'm seeing S or A tier. According to the few people that voted in the poll, it's A tier. And I'll be honest, that's where my gut says too. I think they're A tier. Could they still be S tier? Certainly. But the changes to stone walls being more expensive, less berries safe at home, their start's not going to be as strong. They don't have access to that herbal medicine. I don't think they're going to be S anymore. I would say A or A plus. Yeah. So I think A is a good spot to put the Delhi Sultanate. I'm going to stand by that. We could see this could be one. This could be something I could see changing perhaps after we test them on the patch. Thank you, serving up the sauce there for that tier 1 sub, 3 months. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you. The field siege nerf is a huge indirect buff to Delhi. So the siege nerf. Why do you say the field siege nerf is a buff to Delhi? Is that because they didn't really do a ton of it anyways? Or because that means it'll take it longer to... There was a democracy, says Marking. Yeah, I'd be curious exactly why you say that. Because they don't have the tech. True. Oh, true. Like, okay, yeah, it's a buff because they can't use it, right? I mean, I always used to say it's like when any civ would get nerfed and Delhi wouldn't get a buff, I was like, okay, it's just a buff for Delhi because they didn't get worse. Right? Okay, let's go on to the next one. Delhi, they're in the A tier. English. Okay, the English man-at-arms trained. So this affects early man-at-arms, right? Or that's where it could be most effective, right? The training speed greatly decreased, so they can pump out some early units. They could even go for the Dark Age. Are we going to see a Dark Age man-at-arms rush? Doubtful, but could be. And their Vanguard man-at-arms armor has been increased now. Okay, Abbey of Kings health healing rate has been increased, but I don't think that's really going to impact anything. I mean, holler in chat if you really think you're going to be spamming out that Abbey Kings, but I think that's still going to be rare. I think the most useful thing was putting this on to like next to the water, right? Starting wood increase. That's a nice little buff. So buff. Set up camp no longer be triggered while in combat. That's a nerf. I don't think that's been abused a ton. I usually think like I haven't seen as much of setup camp these days, but maybe just I don't see as much English these days. And then you gotta think of the overall other changes to like hunting and stuff, right? While hunting has been buffed for everyone, English is usually a civ that really doesn't do a whole lot of hunting. They typically take their farming. So can you say that technically the hunting buff for everyone else takes away a slight advantage? Or I don't know. It doesn't like help English at times. I still think they're going to farm. So where do the English go? Where do the English go? I'm going to just gut reaction say, oh, we got a tier. We've got a poll. Okay, democracy. You guys said you wanted democracy. There's a poll. Vote in it quick. You got a few seconds left to still do that. Up at the top, vote in their poll what tier they're going to be in. I'm saying B or C. I wouldn't say they're D tier. Honestly, I'm not sure if any of these civs I would put in D tier anymore. I'm not sure what. But go vote in the poll up above. I'm seeing a lot of players vote for B. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can't vote. I'm sorry. I do post polls on YouTube, so make sure you check out my community tab. I like to put some polls, and a lot of people actually participate in them. It's really fun. But you can leave me a comment and tell me if I got this right or not. Okay, it's looking like a top. Oh, B and C is nice and close. B and C. So this is where we're hovering right now. B or C. No one has said A. Oh, I'm sorry. There's been. Hold on. Somebody voted S tier. You better make yourself known in chat. Who's voting S tier? Who plays a bunch of English? That's like Don Artie. He's voted S tier, right? I think this should be this should be the I saw Beastie Cutie do this. His thumbnail was like a totally out of order tier list. So we'll do if you watched the thumbnail and you saw that, you probably already commented. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna like reverse everything. Okay, Twitch chat. It looks like B is won by 2 votes with C right behind it. So I would say a B minus if it existed. But I'm not confident to say that they're C. Like, I guess we might want to think about, like, okay, where do you say how strong China is? Is English objectively on the same level as where China is what you got to think about. I would definitely say they're below Delhi and Abbasid. But what would make them maybe... I would say China is stronger. I like to think that China is probably a stronger civ, though. Especially with all those... I don't know. All those unique buildings and dynasty changes. Now I'm starting to think, like, I feel like English might be C. Just on the grounds of, like, are they on the same level as China? And China's siege is better. I think China late game is better. But does that necessarily mean that English shouldn't be on the same level? I don't know, guys. I think they might be C. I know we voted B, but my gut says, like, looking at this, it's like, are they on the same level of China? Late game English is good too. I'm going to let you guys discuss that. If you think we should move them, let it be heard there in the comments. I'm going to move on to French here for now. We might table that one. Well, it's not French. Yeah, that is who's next. Okay, French. There's only been one change. They're archers, right? +5 armor instead of setting armor to 5. Marking says English might actually be S. Maybe marking is correct. Now, this is just my opinions, right? And the opinions of FitzBro LLC, right? Okay, French. French is always, I feel like French are a decent middle of the road civ. Sometimes I feel like they're great. I always feel like French excels in certain matchup. I feel like French is more matchup specific. I would say at least B, and I would say in certain matchups A, or I would even say maybe even just A. Like I think French is a good civ. They're particularly good at like pressuring civs who are going to choose to boom early on. What do you guys think? French, there's a vote. Why? I don't have to ask you on Twitch. Go up and vote. What tier should French be? I'm going to set the lights back there. Boom. I'm glad you're enjoying that. That's Castmate. That's our little bot. Okay. Right now, it looks like most of the voting has a French in tier A with B slightly behind it. So make sure you vote in the poll. Let me know where you think. Hey, I've been given some democracy here. I know this is a Twitch dictatorship, but I've got you guys have some votes on this tier list here. Oh, A and B is tied right now. Somebody said D tier. French is D tier. I don't know. I think the trolls got a hold of that one. I don't think they're D tier. I mean, I remember when they were like always A and S. Don't forget, guys. Don't forget. The Hulk still exists. It's not gone. The Hulk is still there in the Second Age. Don't forget about water. I don't know. Like they're better than English on water. They're gonna. Well, they got the Gallet. They're okay. They're not exactly. I think they're still better. Are they better than China or English? Would be the question. Are they on tier with Delhi? Right now, I got 8 people voting A. French's D tier is probably the same person who said English is S tier. Yeah, we forgot. People forgot about the Hulk. Okay, Twitch chat votes. Majority says that French is A tier, but I can't override. We can veto. Boy, do people still play water maps? Well, you're not going to be able to just dodge anymore, so there might be some, but we'll have to see the ranked pool for... I think they announced the ranked map pool, but I can't remember. There's been so many pups and stuff. French late game kind of sucks. I think the only thing I will say about French is they're very predictable typically. Like I feel like I almost always know it. Like it's going to be Archer Cav, or some like small variants, and it's very scoutable. Although you can say the same thing about English too, but that's also why they're a little lower. But yeah, I think Twitch thinks they're A tier. We're gonna leave them there for now. I think French is still a solid civ. I mean, let's be honest. They have access to like two of the strongest units that exist in the feudal age. They're Royal Knight, Unland. I mean, name another feudal age unit that's better than that's stronger or impactful as the Royal Knight and the Hulk. That's just the strongest unit on water in the Second Age. So I think those 2 units alone give a lot of influence to that. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, I would say A, but barely. I think that's a good assessment. Okay, the Holy Roman Empire. Okay, now this have got changes. I'm not sure. Let me know if you think this is a net buff or nerf. Regis Cathedral, relic capacity down. Only 2 relics now instead of 3 relics. So that's a nerf. The Burgrave Palace now produces infantry 400% faster instead of training 5 at a time. But will people choose the Burgrave Palace? Still leaves to be the question. Minework Palace, also huge discount to all those techs. Speed increase of the techs. Palace of Swabia, a little bit of a nerf, but not too big. Inspired Warriors, duration increased from 30 to 60 seconds. So they want you using prelates to inspire your army more. And marching drills is cheaper, research is faster, and now prelates can basically ride around on a scooter on the map. They're going to be super fast. So honestly, I feel like this is a net buff for the Holy Roman Empire. They fixed some bugs. I know there's less relic, but all of this stuff I think is like pretty positive. Especially just like the Inspired Warrior and the marching drills change. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? where they go. That's the question. You can vote. The poll is up for the Holy Roman Empire. Where do you think they are? Right now, 3 votes for A, 2 votes for S tier. Boy, what do you think? Less relic gold, though. Less relic gold. I think they're going to have more. They're going to be like this kind of is the similar to what we said with China is like China's really good in the late game, right? Holy Roman Empire, now they're going to have more versatility. It's not going to be so matchup specific. They could actually have a little more options of what they can do. I'm seeing solid A tier with Delhi. I'm seeing 8 votes for A, 3 for S, 1 for B. So we're kind of, looks like people think they're definitely in the top tiers, but which one exactly? Are they going to be as strong as the Abbasid? And I think if that's the gauge we go on, if we said, Abbasid is the benchmark for what is considered S tier, I don't think you can say the Holy Roman Empire is going to be S tier unless those sprinty monks are just out of control. So I see with that, they have to at least be A. I don't think they're going to be on the level of like, I think Abbasid's going to be crazy, personally. And it does look like majority of chat has voted A tier for the Holy Roman Empire, and maybe even A plus. So we'll do one last pass when we come back to the end. But I'm okay. I'm pretty confident. I think we can move on with that. Honestly, I don't think anyone's gonna be C or D, but we'll see here when we get to these. There's no way Mongols is. I guess you have to decide if Rus is. Okay, the Mongols. Okay, so Mongols. They've got an additional buff to their villagers. They can get additional HP for them later in the game for the improved textiles. And it looks like a little some changes to like how the landmark can move while they're at max pop. Biology was a little bit of a nerf. A little bit of a change to how this tech, Tooth Barns, is used. Cagnette Palace produces Mangadai in 90 seconds to 77, so that's a nerf. Stone Commerce help text. Okay, help text doesn't affect the tier rating. Con Defense Arrow, that's a tooltip. Unpack ability of the Mongol structure now searches for the closest valid placement near the cursor. That's a buff. When you have your Gur like running around, not knowing where to set up because there's people chopping wood, they're going to still set up. So I like that. Maybe. I think that's what that means. But siege weapons no longer get the Yam Aura movement speed. So that is a nerf. Honestly, I feel like Mongols barely got touched. This is the biggest nerf they got, but I don't know. I thought we were going to see some con changes so they're not sniping your sheep and sniping your villagers. And I thought we were going to see the Steppe Redout receive a nerf. But all the other civs coming up. They said their goal wasn't just to nerf civs, but to bring other civs up to the same level. And the field siege engineering does affect Abbasid and the Mongols. That is true. That's going to big change for them. So the question, where are Mongols? The poll's up. Make sure you vote. I say without doubt they're top tier. I don't think we can question that. There's no way they've moved. I wouldn't even say they're below A. I would say it's between S and A. No question about it. There's no way Mongols are going to be B tier. So are they as strong as Abbasid? Are they objectively stronger than all these civs? The 50% armor reduction on buildings under construction needs Mongol Tower Rush. That's true. That's a great point. Buildings that are under construction now are going to be weaker, meaning Tower Rush is being nerfed, and that is a big change for Mongols. And I think if you pair the honestly, just that alone is going to completely change the early game, right? Because those structures are going to be so much more vulnerable. And they're not going to be able to have the Yam on siege, which is maybe not something that you like actively went after, but like that was a thing. There was always like those towers on the front line buffing their siege. So I think Twitch chat has voted A tier. Do you guys think they're A or are they S? I think they're definitely at least A. Man, look at this. Look how close this is together. I've got thoughts on this, but we'll talk about it once we get to the end here. Any last arguments for why Mongols should be S tier? Realize this. You're putting the Abbasid Dynasty above the Mongols. This is uncharted territories. We've got them in line with French, HRE, and Delhi. Are these civs all on par with each other? Probably actually S. Uvu's S tier on its own, says Cookie Monster. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can confidently say that Mongols are still on the same level of these civs, though. They still can build that siege out in the field. They still have the Uvu. No walls. I think, yeah, but then French is B. Yeah, we'll scale it after. Let's leave it here. We'll talk at the end. But I think this makes you question, though, right? Like, are all these civs truly in line with each other? Now Abbasid get French Ville production speed. What? No, they don't. Okay, last but not least, the Rus. The Rus, they've got the Warrior Monk buff. So the range increases, but they've got nerfs to their horse archers. Streltsy got a little bit of a nerf. Banded arms bonus range has been decreased. But a big change to the Logia ships, right? A big change to the early game. I am not honestly sure what these fishing ship changes. So essentially you're going to have less ships early on, but they're going to have higher gather rates. They're more expensive. They take longer to train. So it means you're not going to be converting as many attack ships. But I feel like overall in the early game, this is maybe a nerf, but late game is a buff. No more attack while moving too. Yeah. Golden Age affects town centers and docks. Yes, that's true. That is that's why Abbasid's definitely. Yeah, Golden Age is going to affect TCs and docks. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I don't think anyone could be on par with how strong Abbasids could be. So I think just that alone, no one could be S tier. Okay, Rus. Vote is up. Where's Rus go? The biggest change to them is water, I think. I think this is going to be a really hard one to place. I'm not sure where Rus... These aren't drastic changes other than the water, which is also map specific, right? And there's probably going to be less water maps on the ranked pool than there generally have been in the past, right? But hold on, but the scout change. The scout changes. The scouts can now attack faster for deer. That's a buff. That's a huge buff for them. And the hunting changes. So those are going to be huge buffs for Rus. Surprised they didn't list that under the Civ. Like, oh, by the way, remember? Rus Springald Siege will be strong as well. Streltsy and Springald nerf is bad. So keep that in mind while you're voting. Where do the Rus land? I don't think they're S tier. I think that's reserved for the Abbasid. I don't think anyone can touch that. Man, I think the hunting... I mean, Rus have been a strong, solid Civ in general. You see a high pick rate with them. I think the water changes, we're going to have to really see how that pans out. And most of Twitch chat has voted A tier. Holy cow, guys. I've never had such an even tier list here. And let's just say for 1 second, a big shout out to the developers. The fact that they're making it this hard for us to decide how do these civs really spread out means they've done a lot to the balance, because it did not used to be like this. And I think it's nice. Like, I want every civ to stand a chance against every civ in every matchup, personally. Fake news, Rus not A tier. So now let's debate. This is where our initial tier list is. And now we're also this is gonna change as we actually test the civs, right? You're not gonna know till the meta is established. What could possibly change? Is there an argument that any civ should be C tier, or do we gauge them off of that? Like, does this move down to here, and then do we move some down? I would say there probably should. There's no way these are all going to be the same tier as each other, is my guess. So I'm going to say let's move these guys down, and then let's see who comes down from this. Maybe we put too many in the A tier. So who comes down? I think Delhi's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. Holy Roman B tier because of the relic nerf. So let's do this. If we get a poll with these civs, I think Mongols definitely stays A tier, no question. But these 4 civs, which one of these civs should come down if you had to choose? French and Rus B, HRE, French, Rus B. HRE has Burgrave with mine work, spam. Yeah, they do. I see a lot of people saying French and Rus. So you're thinking it should be like this. Something like this. I still almost think like does English go? Is English still as good as China, or are they D tier? Like if we scope this out, like is this where English actually should be? I wouldn't put China below English. I'm not a believer in the mine work and Burgrave yet. I think it's going to be interesting and people are going to try it, but I still think it's going to be hard to pass up that passive gold, right? How do you pass that? And how do you, like that Aachen Chapel is still a nice landmark. Plus 50 wood is good. Place Mongol in S tier for even placing. No. Abbasid is definitely above Mongols, in my opinion. We'll see. We'll see, but I think they are. Okay, which civ should go down? There we go. Any of the civs. You vote them, that means you think they should go down a tier. Okay, should Delhi go down a tier? Should French go down a tier? Should HRE go down a tier? Should Rus go down? Well, we already moved these down. Seen some votes for the Holy Roman Empire. It is never A, to be honest, says Neon Racing Cat. It still is dependent on getting relics a lot of times, isn't it? Right? Like, are they going to be strong as Delhi? Like, I feel like Delhi and Mongols are just going to consistently still be strong. Their arrow ship only does half damage now. Wait, you talking about because they're not moving? So you think they're down here? With a Holy Roman Empire Galley Archer was firing an additional arrow. Oh, I thought that was a visual bug. Oh, wow. That's huge then, if that's true. Oh. English Galley was the correct one. Did not know that. Okay. Everyone voted. It looked like unanimously decided the Holy Roman Empire should go down. Now it's the same as English. Okay. So now with this, look at this tier list. Are we happy with this? Rus could be A. Rus could be A. So how? I'm not sure if Rus is going to be as strong as Mongols and Delhi, though. Although those hunting changes are the biggest thing I see for Rus. Yeah, and the English one. You think the English are going to be B tier? China number 1. There we go. I don't know. I still feel like English is going to be similar. Hunt is strong for French and the Holy Roman Empire too. Yeah, that's true. Especially if they have map control. English and China are no way in the same. I'm glad you've joined us at the very end of the tier list because we've debated all this stuff here. But I'm not sure. Because I think one thing to consider with China is the fact that they now have access to the village sooner, and they can plop those down on deer and use that more effectively if they wanted to. I think that could be something. So I think this is close. I think now we're to a point where I think you could debate all of this, but I don't think any civ pull China down, English down, or the same. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Poll for China. Does China go down? Does English go down, or do they stay the same? What do you think? I guess we could also have an option for, I don't know if you want to do any of them up, but it is pretty accurate if you turn the whole thing upside down. Okay. Same China down, same China down. There we go. So this is the problem we're going to have here. Jab still thinks Mongols are S tier. Jan Racing Cat says China down. Says rip China. Okay, there's a poll. Let's see what we think here. Who goes down? Oh, we didn't have the same. I think people think they should go down though. If you think same, you better throw it in the shout. Think the list is good. Seeing several votes right now for the English to go down. You don't have to vote if you think it should be the same. So I'll count the sames in the chat. I see 1, 2 sames right now. 3 sames. Backart01, thank you so much. Backart J, thank you so much for that sub. 2 months. Greatly appreciate it. And this is a good reminder, if you do have Twitch Prime, you can, or Amazon Prime, you can link your Twitch Prime. You can throw us some love. I greatly appreciate it. I've actually been wanting to get some more lights. I was thinking about, you guys see like the light I have over here, this light strip? I want to put one around this entire desk. I think it would add a lot more light over here. I think we can really make that wall stand out. Recount. I demand a recount. Stop the count. Uh-oh. Someone voted for me, says Cookie Monster. Stop the count. Stop the steal. There we go. I don't know. I still, my gut feels like this is it for now. I feel like we could debate this all day long and you're going to get different opinions. Like, and I think if you ask the top 10 players, because to be real, we don't have all the top 10 players in here. They're going to have different opinions. Storm the poll. Storm the poll. The bots have arrived. Okay. This poll isn't convincing enough to me. It's not like I wanted to see like a large margin. We only have it's only a few votes for English to go down over China. Their opinions are wrong. Have to get the mods on our side. Oh boy, here we go. We are 9,000 plus ELO here. Yeah, we need our polls sorted by the ELO of the voter. Okay, guys. Hey, this is what I think. I think this is where the tier list is. We're going to stand with this because it's close. We're debating it, but I think we're generally here. I think this is the area we could shuffle around. I think you could shuffle. Someone here could come up. Someone here could come up or down, possibly. But this is close. I think it's very close in general. Rank D is no rank D. I think that's good. Maybe there'll be a rank D that will come out. But now you know what we have to do.
Backard01 has activated
Trumpet Time. I'll hit you with some Trumpet Time here in a moment. Here, I got the Trumpet Time. Oh, actually, I got a brand new Harmon Mute today. This is a Harmon Mute, if you don't know. So just for you, I'll play it for you. The Age of Empires theme. There you go. Age of Empires theme. Okay, since this is going on YouTube, of course, we have to scramble the end of this, right? We'll go back here. Let's we'll screenshot this, right? We'll do that. Oh yeah. That'll get people to click. Okay, there's our screenshot. Anyways, guys, as far as YouTube's concerned, thanks for tuning in for this long form tier list. Leave your comment below. Let me know what I got wrong, what I got right. If I got anything wrong, it was definitely Twitch's fault. They were responsible for everything. But we'll put this back in order here so we know what the final result was. There you have it. Abbasid Dynasty, S tier. Delhi and Mongols, A tier. French, Rus, and Holy Roman Empire, B tier. And China and English in the C tier. And you can expect after ranked actually launches and all of that jazz that we'll do another redo of this. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.